Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. I know I'm a little bit slow on this, but I think this guide video, so to speak, would be able to help you with the rest of the other maze events coming in the future. So this is how I feel like is the most optimal way for you to clear these mazes, right? To make sure that you clear it with 100% progress, because I do hear that some of you guys actually end up with 0 squad morale and you're not able to clear the whole thing. So this is just like some simple strategy of how I'm doing this. Now the thing is, whenever you enter one of these tiles, right, let's say just this tile, your stress level goes up by 10. And the thing is, when you hit 90, Brewster will then be frenzied, and that's not really a good thing because whenever he attacks, he will lose HP, and if he does lose HP, he can potentially die, but the worst thing is it also affects his squad morale whenever he loses HP. So ideally, whenever you enter one of these fighting nodes, you do not want to be frenzied. I think that's gonna be like the worst case scenario. So we're just gonna go ahead and clear this fighting tile because we are less than 90, or rather our Brewster is not frenzied right now. So now we can continue to progress a little bit, but the thing is, we want to avoid all of these beer mugs. Okay, we do not want to touch the beer mugs right now. Okay, we just want to leave them accessible, but we do not want to actually clear it. And I'll explain why in just a moment. Okay, so as you can see here, when we take this tile over here, Brewster is now frenzied, which means that his crit rate goes up by 100%, which is great, but this is not actually a really good thing because the rest of his frenzied status really sucks. So healing efficiency received minus 100%, which means that he cannot be healed, and whenever he takes action, he loses 15% of his max HP, which means that he can actually die by taking turns. Now at the start of combat, Brewster gains a turn, which means that he's instantly going to lose 15% HP, which would then affect your squad morale. So by clearing the fight, you will start to lose a little bit of squad morale because you receive some damage. And also, while exploring the maze, each move consumes 2% of your squad morale, which I think is not that bad. I think this is actually a good thing, or rather it's not a bad thing. So now that we are frenzied, we are still not going to collect the mug. Okay, we are going to wait for a little bit. So what we are going to do is we are just going to continue progressing through the maze, and we are just going to unlock all the nodes that allow us to like reach a fighting node. Like for example, this one over here, but we are not actually going to take this. So instead, we're going to go upwards, and we're just going to carve a path towards the rest of these nodes over here. And the reason why I'm doing so is because, as you can see here, your stress level doesn't actually go beyond 100. Instead, what happens is you're chipping away at your squad morale whenever you clear some of these nodes, which I think is a little bit better than having your stress level go up. So this is actually one cheat code, so to speak, a cheat code to manage your stress level. So now, in order for us to progress, we need to clear one of these fighting nodes. But we're not going to do it because we are frenzied, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take one of the beer mugs here to reduce our stress level by 30. So as you can see now, we are no longer frenzied, which means that we can fight and we're not going to be too worried about having the frenzy effect. So what we're going to do here is we are only going to touch the fighting tiles, okay? We're not going to touch any other tile around us for now. So now that we have completed this one tile, let's move on to the other one here where we are still not in a frenzied state. And upon clearing this, we should then be frenzied. And there you go. So as always, this will be our strategy moving forward, right? We are just going to make sure that we can reach one of these tiles. So for example, this beer mug over here, we want to be able to reach it whenever we need to. So same for the rest point over here. We should only clear this up when we have less than 60 squad morale, because this actually heals you for 40 squad morale. So we do not want to waste it. So now that our stress is capped out, then let's just continue progressing. So there is two things here. There is one rest event, which recovers your squad morale, and there is a save event, which recovers your stress level, basically. So it really wouldn't hurt to go for the rest event because it increases your squad morale, which allows you to continue abusing your capped out stress level, which means that we can then clear more of these like excess nodes, right? So just clear the path like so. Now we need to clear this fighting node, which means that we need to reduce our stress level like this. And then now we can fight without worrying about being frenzied. So the reason why we want to leave all of these alone is because there is no rush. We can simply clear all of these fighting nodes right now, and then when our stress level is at 100, then we can just go back and just clear all of these exploration nodes, and that will be fine. So there is only one more fighting node that we need to get to, and the good news is that we do have a beer mug over here. But I do suspect that in some of the future mazes, it's not going to be so straightforward, it's not going to be so simple, so you might need to play it smart, and that's the whole point of this video over here. It's just to give you a little bit of a preempt, partaking in some of the future mazes, and then you realize that, oh, it's a little bit harder, or you find yourself being stuck more often than not. Or at least I hope that they designed it in such a way that it's a little bit more challenging and it requires a little bit of your brain power instead of just being like a very basic map clearing event. Well, we actually suffered a lot over here. We lost our Brewster and we lost a lot of HP as well. We are going to lose a lot of our squad morale here. 36, oh my goodness, that is terrible. Okay, so now that we have effectively cleared all of the essential tiles, right, we can just go ahead and collect all the remaining exploration tiles. And now that our squad morale is at 50, we can also take the resting node over here to recover us back to 90. And that's basically it. But I do have one more thing that I want to test before we end this video. And since I've already collected everything here, I've already completed this before, I want to test what happens if you leave the battle. Do we actually lose our squad morale, or is that a way for us to bypass losing our squad morale and just, recover from the fight entirely so that we can partake in it once more for free? So we do have one more fighting tile over here, which I'm definitely going to test this out a little bit. And one more thing that I should tell you is when you access this core memory, you cannot actually get out of it, right? If you press leave memory, you're actually going to lose it and you're not going to gain anything from it. So you're going to actually suffer your stress level, and you're also going to suffer your squad morale if, let's say, your stress is already at 90 and above, right? So I think the smarter choice right now is to go with the safe event so that we do not be berserked, right? We do not be frenzied right now when we want to test this out. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to assess it, and I'm probably just gonna exit it instantly, right? And let's see what happens to our squad morale here. Okay, we leave. Now what happens? Nothing happens. That's interesting, which means that you can actually just keep quitting. If you feel like you're gonna lose, you can just quit and all that. But actually, let's test this one more time. Let's see what happens when we take damage, right? If we take damage, is this still going to work? Well, let's find out. We're just gonna normal attack everything. Okay, now we have actually lost a lot of HP. We might even lose our Ashley. Okay, great. So now we lost our Ashley. Let's just leave and let's see how this affects our squad morale. It does not even affect your squad morale. So the thing is, if you're feeling like you're gonna lose the fight, or if you have taken substantive damage and you think you can do better, then it's a good idea to just leave the fight and come back in, because it doesn't cost you anything at all. So that's it for this video. Once you have collected everything, you can then go ahead to leave the event by exiting through the white door over here. And that's about it. So this is basically everything that I want to cover for the maze event. I probably may not touch it again unless you guys desperately need my help to figure out what the solution is if some of the mazes become a little bit more difficult. Well, I hope it does become more difficult so that there's at least some content for me to cover, right? But anyway, I hope this video helped you at all. If it even helped one person out there, I will be happy about it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Derry Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.